And I have a very powerful finger. As soon as I press a button, the whole world can listen in. So let's see if we're on yet. We could be, and we're live. Hello, everyone. I totally knew it, and we're totally comfortable. And before we get started with the show, I'd like to say hi to a couple people. I'm gonna say Carol says, "Hey, hello, y'all," and you know what? I used to be a little iffy about the y'all thing. Y'all is my favorite thing now. You guys is not good.
I say Z'yol. So, sorry you're not there yet.
That's yeah. I'm still in the South. I'll get up north in a little bit. So hi, y'all. Let's get going.
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Hello, Chemda.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. How's it going?
I think I'm sleeping like 2 hours at a time. I'm eating edibles and Advil like it's going out of style. I'm constipated right now. We'll get to all that. I'm doing great. Today's guest, more importantly, from the Chris Gethard Show, from Broad City, from the MLB Network. The podcast is called Self-Medicated. Oh, we'll talk about acid. Self-Medicated Weekly Dose. Murf Meyer. Hello, Murf.
Hello. Keith and Chemda, thank you for having me.
I love having recovered degenerates on the show.
Yes,
you guys have a different smile. It's recognizable.
Yes. Well, it balances out the 1,000-yard stare. That's what helps. It's like up here, it's just like, my word, what have I seen? And down here, you're like, ha, let's have fun.
It doesn't matter anymore.
That's right.
You've seen enough to go, and whatever I do, this is going to happen.
Here it is. Hell yeah.
I want to start with a fun story. This is...
don't get trapped. I don't like his fun stories.
Right.
I'm not sure that we agree on what fun is. That's just a caveat before we get started. Go ahead with your fun.
A Stranger Things fan had her life turned upside down after being catfished by a scammer claiming to be Dacre Montgomery, who plays Billy in the series. He's the bad boy. He's the one that became possessed later. But you're not surprised because he was an asshole the whole time. The single mother says she left her husband for the scammer after meeting him on an online forum and even sent him nearly $10,000. How does the news even get out? How aren't you so embarrassed? Why are you like, I need to warn others? No, you don't. Others aren't doing this. Because
you know what? When you're in that phase of like, look at me, I did it. I stayed hopeful. I stayed open. I stayed, they said the universe is going to get to me when it's time, and the universe got to me. So now I'm probably preaching the word. I'm like, hey, ladies, stay real. You are the best.
She's going to teach classes now.
I also wonder if this is kind of like in your dating profiles, if this is like a verified badge, like a catfished badge. It's almost like you want people to know. So now she goes back out there, and it's kind of like, I've officially been catfished by a celebrity impersonator, no less. And
I'll give you more information. But she's one of these people, like, she reminds me of the guy from Jury Duty that got duped. She's like, and I'm pretty aware of things, and I'm very clever. Like, don't add that.
No, it's what everyone wants to say when they're like elderly, parents or grandparents get scammed by some silly nonsense. Your grandson's in Zimbabwe and he needs a wire transfer or whatever the hell's going on, whatever the scam is. It's like, sometimes people just, you let your guard down, whatever the reasoning is, it happens. But there's no need to qualify it by being like, listen, I'm brilliant. I'm normally like on point all day, every day. This one just somehow got under my incredible radar.
My dad tells me how wise he is. Why don't I listen to him more? He's been through life. He's 80 years old. He might know a thing or two that I didn't experience, and the Nigerian scammer got him. It was an off day.
It was an off day. Yeah,
he had to focus on taking care of us.
I know, and I'm not making excuses or, blah, 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 all that stuff, all the caveats, whatever. But when we're told romantic stories, when we're given rom-coms, there is this piece of shit that was relentlessly annoying. He was a loser. He was nothing that you wanted to be. And then the power of love and struggle to get that love elevated him into this other person. I mean, you saw the montage. He killed it. Now poof, new person. You get to tell that story. You're already saying things like, I can't wait to tell the grandkids. When we future trip, it's not coming from nowhere.
Right.
I
Michaela,
I like
go ahead,
that
please.
story.
Right. Michaela, a film artist and single mother from Kentucky. Hey, I didn't say nothing. Was in a very toxic relationship with her husband, so she joined an online artist forum to make connections. This story she told on the YouTube channel Catfished, not the MTV show. We know something different. I'm incredibly excited to connect with fellow filmmakers, she wrote at the time, who share the same passion for the art of filmmaking. I'm currently seeking creative collaboration opportunities, and I believe that together we can create something truly remarkable.
See, she usually knows what she wants. She can articulate it well. She's putting herself out there in art. And what's the secret component? She's in a toxic relationship.
Right.
So anybody can get her.
Yes.
You know,
Also, a single mom. I mean, listen, I'm not single moms. They ain't a monolith like everybody else. And so I don't want to say all single moms. But the fact that they're even keeping the train on the tracks as a single mom.
Oh,
no wonder it's like maybe something flew under the radar. Like you got to think how many things you juggling every day.
Right.
Just to get, to make sure that there's sheets on the bed, food on the table and whatnot.
Right, but here she is looking for that support, that outside of I can't just be a single mom. I am going to be well-rounded. And when you're well-rounded, you're less likely to engage in toxic behavior with a toxic person unless another toxic person gets to you first. So it's like people who leave one religion for another. It's like, okay, we get it. You're like, you saw all the bad things about this, but you might not be in the right head enough because you're not out of that first thing in order to this next thing not get to you.
Sure. And how lucky for her, though, it happened to be a major celebrity.
What
a quit like that. This is fucking awesome. You know what? It reminds me of that
Meghan
show that was
Markle.
on. What's that?
This has Markle vibes.
Meghan Markle. Who the fuck was she? Isn't that the one who got the prince and am I not getting?
Isn't that the one who catfished?
Right?
Isn't that the one who catfished the prince?
by being a celebrity herself? Sure.
Well,
I don't
Suits.
follow.
I mean, is that really a show? Has anyone actually seen that program?
It is now. It is now. I just because I'm like, why is Suits being pushed on me? And then I'm like, oh, this is the one. Okay, I get it.
Yep.
She later received a message from her user named DKMH saying he would like to chat and eventually claimed they were. Then the person, DKMH, said, I'm a well-known actor. Okay, bye, asshole.
Yeah.
Who says that? I'm a well-known actor. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Dacre Montgomery, who played Billy Hargrove on Stranger Things. Me and him just really hit it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, it reminded me of that TV show recently where like 4 women got together to tell their story about the one scammer. And they're so proud, like, we got this motherfucker. And every time they're like, why did they fall in love? Because he showed pictures of him being in Brazil. He flew them out at least once to Paris. He's a multimillionaire. He's a literal prince. All you talked about was money. You sound like a fucking idiot. Of course he got all your money. You're so stupid and shallow.
One quick thing I want to say, though, is this is a great... I just want to say it's a great cover for a Catfish because this is also the kind of actor. He's in the middle of the road. He didn't come out saying he's Brad Pitt, right? Which is not a topical reference at all. But Bradley Cooper, whoever this is hot jock at the moment. But
showing our age is so easy now.
Yes. He didn't say it was Paul Newman, for Christ's sake.
I was just going to say Robert Redford.
Good cover though. Good middle of the road choice.
Yeah.
I also feel like Keith should host a show called "My Hindsight is Better Than Your Foresight," or "My Foresight is Better Than Your Hindsight." It's just unbelievable how he would never get trapped in anything.
It happened to be. It wasn't Charlize Theron. It was who's the one that I like? She was just in the Beanie Babies movie. She was in Wet Hot American Summer. She's very, very
Elizabeth
funny.
Banks.
Elizabeth Banks. See, take somebody like that and be like, "Oh, I'm so lucky. I got Elizabeth Banks." Not Angelina Jolie. This makes more sense.
Yes.
No, I can't believe I think I'm such a genius.
If you have to share your IMDb credits page with the person you're trying to scam, then I think you've picked the right person, maybe, to be just believable enough.
Just for the record, Keith went to jail for 2 months for being duped out of fake checks.
Alone. Yeah, right. I was 18. I was 18. This woman has kids.
By Elizabeth Banks? Who got you on that?
It was Tom Cruise. It was
going to give me a loan, so I started spending putting out fake checks, thinking the money will come any day. It didn't, so I had to go to jail. And I'll tell you who got me, of all fucking people, Tom Cruise. He said, you can trust me. I'm a well-known actor.
He's
well known.
Do you know who I am? And I didn't want to be embarrassed. So I said, okay, I'll wait a couple more days. Me and him just really hit it off. But of course, I'm suspicious from the get-go until he starts doing things that make me believe that he is who he is. Okay, let's see how he proved it. Although they never met in person, Michaela says that Montgomery was always complaining to her about relationship issues. I thought you wanted to talk about movies.
You know what I'm curious about is, did this catfisher keep track of the actual actor and say, like, did you see me on Good Morning America or whatever the fuck, because is he keeping track of what that guy said? Like, oh, I can't talk to you because I'm flying to San Francisco because that guy is doing a bit part.
I'm going to bet not. I'm going to bet that somebody said, what kind of film projects are you into? Like, I get a hard on for Stranger Things. I'll tell you that. And then he went, hi, I'm Stranger Things. You're kidding me.
Right. Hamza, you might have actually hit on, if this woman is teaching webinars or seminars or whatever it ends up being about being catfish, that's actually a good counter defense, is that she should say, if someone claims to be someone, quickly Google them. Were they on Good Morning America? You could float, hey, amazing. I'm talking to you. I just saw you on Good Morning America last week. You can say, oh, yes, I was. And you go, no, you weren't, you lying bastards. That's a good way to maybe have as a screening process to see if he's at least doing his homework.
This is a whole new defensive course for women. We used to have to beat up a guy in a big suit and punch him in the dick. Now we got to Google odd things and make sure. I know it's not just women, but it's just funny, our evolution, folks.
Sure. This is the virtual version of punching a mannequin in the dick. Yes.
Right. You could tell this girl you were the monster in Stranger Things. She'd still spend money on you. Don't worry. Some of those issues were how his girlfriend, Liv Pollock, so I assume a real person, controlled all of his bank accounts and is having some money problems, which eventually led her to send about $10,000 to this guy who was just in Stranger Things. But the woman's controlling it. You have a confused look on your face, Murf. There's more.
You don't make money, you find money.
That's right. That's right. You got to spend money to make money. I mean, whatever we need to throw around here to make this make sense.
You got to say you have a bank account to get someone else's bank account.
If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And I love love.
And I love you.
Can I have some money?
Also, as a SAG-AFTRA, a member of SAG-AFTRA currently on strike for these shit residuals from Netflix. Still, if this dude from Stranger Things is asking for $10,000, I mean, we need to be more of us need to be on strike. We all need to be. This needs to be a general strike if this guy's scrambling for $10,000.
This is great. This is a lesson for all of us. Oh, I was hoping.
Yes. That's one thing we actually bonded over, and basically through the abuse. And basically through the relationship, he was venting to me after a few months about his partner, saying she's very controlling of him. He doesn't get to do the things he wants to do. You might see him on the red carpet, but sometimes he doesn't want to be there. She's always there, and she's always got to supervise. And she's like, that's me and my husband at the time, now ex-husband. We'll get there. I kind of empathize because that was me and my ex-husband like that. After a year of private messaging, he put in his work, Montgomery had asked Michaela to be his girlfriend. Again, they never met in person.
Was he on the red carpet at all in that year? And can I be on your arm? Or he's saying he has a girlfriend, so he's too wound up in this thing.
Yeah. And you have to, and I'll get to this, but you have to keep it a secret because I do have a girlfriend. And it'll be so she's a homewrecker, but she's abused too, so she gets it. He doesn't really want to be there. I get it. We're all adults.
A homewrecker.
It's fun to say.
What are we saying next? A wife beater for the tank top?
I'm saying she's bringing up the story and sounds like a cunt.
People in catfish houses shouldn't throw stones or something.
The fake actor told Michaela to keep the relationship quiet since he was still in a relationship with Pollock. At one point, the scammer gave Michaela an ultimatum to choose between him and her husband. Michaela then broke the news to her now ex-husband.
Wait. He asked her, even though he had a girlfriend?
Yes.
So he said, you let go of yours. And he's like, I'll never let go. But what?
Let go, or you don't get me. Well, how about
What
you
about
live?
his-
Well, that's Hollywood. That's not even real. Are we really going to get into this again? I don't want to relive the trauma of abuse. You know the word abuse, right? Let me bold it. And abuse. Okay.
Right. I just have to be with this woman for 5 more years and a baby and a dog. And then I can get divorced. You know Hollywood. You met Tom Cruise.
Right.
You don't know Tom Cruise? Oh, I thought we were mutual friends and that's how we found it. Am I getting this wrong?
Oh, you don't know Tommy? Oh, shit. Sorry. Thomas Cruise? You might know him? Mission Impossible?
You're not waiting on those checks from Tom Cruise? Come on. I thought we were all waiting on checks from Tom Cruise.
Like Tom Cruise, we have to fake our relationships so that Hollywood gives us more movies. And that's when I can pay you back 5 times. And something the beach.
But isolate yourself from everyone you know quickly, or else I'm out the door.
Delete emails from you? No. Your email, period.
Yes.
At one point, the scammer gave Michaela an ultimatum to choose between the two. Michaela broke the news to the ex-husband. Listen, she said, it's not working out. You're not letting me be me, and you're not letting me be free. I said, you need to leave. With the husband out of the picture and Michaela living with her 7-year-old daughter, it sounded like he didn't put up a fight. Yeah, okay, weirdo. Goodbye. With her husband, you're free. Believe me. Are you? I'm getting a vibe you're seeing somebody. Yeah, Hollywood actor DeCaprio McEnroe. Who? I don't know. Billy from Stranger Things.
Yeah, I had to Google his name. I don't know.
Right. With her husband out of the picture and Michaela living with her 7-year-old daughter. Why would you tell your daughter this story? She's going to need college advice someday.
Yeah.
Why is she living with her 7-year-old daughter and her 7-year-old daughter is not living with her? Just weird grammar. Just weird grammar.
Oh, okay, sure.
Just weird grammar. That's all. If we're going to tell this story,
it does
it's
sound
weird.
Yeah. Oh, right. She's in charge because she's the smarter one. She's in 3rd grade already.
that was a purposeful choice.
Somebody in her school wouldn't be able to scam her. Give me your lunch. I'll give you 10 lunches already. No, I have a big lunch coming soon any day now, my love.
It turns out this was the 7-year-old's boyfriend, another 7-year-old in 4th grade.
Right. I'll get your mom back for not letting you stay up late. I might need a little help with money, my queen, he said after she got rid of the husband.
This is a quote.
All these quotes from her.
Okay.
I didn't read her diary. I might need a little help with money, my queen. Liv, the girlfriend, has control of all the accounts, and I don't have access. You simply can't contact your bank, right?
Nothing. Is this a conservative ship or something? Are you like on a Britney Spears scenario here? What's going on?
Blah, 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 abuse. I love you.
Oh, yes. Trauma, abuse. Got it.
God, you look good. You never saw a picture of me, but you look good.
You know what's sad is that you can't, a few months into the relationship, get in touch with the exes and go, I know that you're exes. Can we just compare notes? Am I going the route that you guys went? Like, listen, I know one man's garbage is another man's blah, 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 but is this just garbage?
Michaela sent the scammer $100 and $200 via gift cards, right? You got to start slow. Payment apps or cryptocurrency, a tactic that scammers use so you can't trace bullshit. Then I tallied it up. It was $10,000-ish, she said. She would also receive
more.
That means it's more.
Yeah, ish is that ish is another 0, I think, actually.
Right. It's an embarrassing ish.
Yeah, that the spreadsheets don't give you ish.
No.
Right.
No.
Bank accounts, they don't download ish statements.
And this is not an amount you just forgot. Or you forget. You're like, I'm not sure exactly how much the embarrassment of my lifetime cost me. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah. Remember we talked about Patrice, who was on our show, scamming people, and they would lower they were so embarrassed. They want the story out there because she's scamming Keith and the Girl listeners and guests. But at the same time, they're going to lower it by a couple hundred easily.
See, sure. This is honestly why I don't want to shit on people who are like, why are you telling us this? This is so embarrassing for you. Because the scammers continue scamming if somebody doesn't feel like they can put themselves out like this.
Yes.
So I know that.
But our friends didn't lose their husbands and spend $10,000 on Patrice, in all fairness.
It doesn't matter. It's, hey, guys, this can happen to you. Let me tell you my shitty story and get over my own embarrassment. And I know I always come with the kumbaya idea of things, but this is, I mean, it's not just entertainment, although how many catfish stories are not, like every network has a whole
Sure.
cat. That's how often it happens. But if we don't talk
I have a
about
book.
it,
I catfished my dad. A book's coming out. Yeah, no, it's out there.
yeah.
But these people are fucking weirdos. I'm not
I mean,
going,
if we're going just by you catfishing your dad, yeah, your dad should have known fucking.
No, I was so clever. No, how
weekend.
come when it's me, I'm not the genius? Interesting.
Well, we can talk about that, but that's another subject.
I don't think we can. No, never mind. Michaela also received money back from Montgomery. You guys know this scam in the forms of gift cards and checks. One written out for $5,500, where she was to make a bank account to deposit the check into and send the money back to him. Like that makes any fucking sense.
So David Zaslav, so Netflix at this point, like the studio execs were paying him. He's like, listen, I'm getting paid in Stranger Things in like Starbucks gift cards at this point. So
Right.
I'm gonna, you know how Hollywood works, you know, until you get on the AA list, you know, you get paid in gift cards. So let me send
And
those
I wonder legally what happens to people like this, because you are volunteering your money, but somebody is scamming you. But when you get a divorce, a lot of times somebody scammed you. Somebody went outside of the marriage, went outside of your commitment to each other. It doesn't have to be physical, you know, sexual, whatever, but you don't get compensated for that. And you don't get a duped reward, and you don't get your money back because you voluntarily married this person, shared the stuff with them, believe them. If you voluntarily believe someone, then you don't get it back. But if you're suspect the whole time and you send the you know, it's just,
Yeah, I don't know if the bank gives it back, but it is a crime. But you're never going to catch these people. In fact, I bet you the actor had an Indian accent of some kind, and he said, "Oh, I'm getting ready for another role where a lot of money will come in." So no, I don't sound like me at all per se.
But do you get the money back? Because people,
I don't know,
marry people. They lie about having a family, they lie about their history, they lie about whether the parents are around or not. I mean, when you're duped into a regular relationship where it's just like, holy shit, you wake up 5 years into your marriage and you go, hold on, you come from this family and not this family. You catfished me in a way.
Yeah. I have friends that has happened to, literally years into a marriage. Yeah.
It's not illegal.
Put a ring on it. I think once you put a ring on it, I guess there's still that.
Everything's legal.
Then it's all fair. Yeah, it's all fair balls.
That's bananas.
That is bananas.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't get the money back because that could be a scam in and of itself. Just say they stole the money from your accounts. They're not going to bring the emails to court, and don't embarrass yourself in an article. If
it's still all consensual, I think is the point. I guess on some level, even though you're being you know the picture that's being painted is false, but you still entered into the agreement.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Consensually.
Yeah. But that's dating. People are like, you know, everyone lies in the beginning of relationships. I'm like, no, that's the same lie as later.
Is.
Like it's but we're so used to again, movies and like old school thinking is, you know, you lie about, you exaggerate, you make yourself off to whatever. What's the line between I'm just putting my best foot forward and I'm actually lying to you so that you fall in love with this and then I'll bring the real thing? Is that a scam? Because I call that a scam, and I think people should be jailed for that.
I think they should.
I'll volunteer my old relationship.
I mean, and now what we have is we started this off just as self-defense course for women. So now here's how to look over. Now it's a divorce lawyer pitch. Now you're like, I'm going to be the divorce lawyer without a legal, but I'm going to come into the court and go, where's the difference between this and this? This person got catfish. Let's go.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is let it go and move on.
The YouTube channel Catfished found out that the real actor Montgomery would never need gift cards of $100 and $200, as he made about $150,000 for the 19 Stranger Things episodes that he appeared on. You don't say. These catfish guys, they're good themselves, little detectives. I had to tell her, for him being a famous actor now, he has money.
Wait, 150 per episode or for all 19?
It sounds like for all 19, but they're just saying he's not broke.
I'm just saying this.
And he's in other stuff too.
And this guy is sitting at home going, hey, that's my personal, like, I didn't do that.
Right.
You know, what did I do? That's private info.
Now they know my quotes bullshit.
You're in my bank account? Are you negotiating for me? The fuck is this?
Right.
If you put your shoes in the catfisher, the catfisher, not the catfish for a second. How much money are you willing to spend on each person before you pull the plug? Like how much do you, if 10 grand is kind of if that's, I guess, the goal, 10 grand ish is your goal of like how much you're going to get from somebody. How much do you put it? Like, do you cap that at what? Like two $10 Starbucks gift cards and
you cap it at your bank account.
Whatever you're sitting on currently. That's like, I love this. You're a gambling man. I like that. You're like, I'm willing to put up whatever I have right now to get.
When you go to 5,000, what's 6,000? When you're at 7,000, what's 10,000?
But what if at the last moment they get cold feet? What if what if their neighbor, a coworker, just grabs this woman by the old school Hollywood style by the shoulders and just shakes her and is like, "This isn't this boy from Stranger Things."
And
then at the last minute,
the catfisher is given the money. You're saying
yes.
None of his checks were real.
No, but a gift card or two. He's got to flash something at the end of that stick. Even if the carrot is a plastic carrot, it's still got to be something.
You know, petty cash, they have petty cards, and they're okay if they lose a couple of those a year.
Yeah, okay.
You're talking about,
this is business. You got to spend fake money to make money. You got to spend gift cards to get real cash.
Yeah, think about the other effort he's putting in. Now he's just addressing an envelope and putting a CVS card in it. Like, come on, he has put in his time. If he had a real job, he probably would have made $1,000 on his time. He's just as a hustler.
You're right.
She probably never used the gift card and knows that it's actually completely empty. You just take it off the shelf and you don't put money on it.
What show, you said this before, I think, but there's a million catfish shows, right? Like TLC has one, like every network has like a show about MTV had one. I want to see the show where the person who's getting catfish, the mark, realizes that the person is fake for sure. Somehow they slip up, they realize, but they don't know that they've slipped up. Because how far can you push this dude? Like, is he like trying to be like, oh, I got red carpet tickets for you? Like, if you keep pushing him to be like, I'll send you a couple bucks. Like, I got $2,000 from her. Let me now try to, like, how far is he willing to go to fake that he is this actor?
Murf,
also?
How do I call you by your government name? Murf Meyer. Come the fuck on. What is that alternative? Look, oh my goodness. He's handing the red flags. When he sees a pink flag, he's out of there.
Yeah.
You're
right.
On, oh, you got me. He's in a different relationship of full control.
Yeah.
The more money she spent, the more he has her. He could tell. You've seen those catfish shows. It's more about relationships and just for attention. So sometimes about money, but not as often, at least on the MTV show. Anyway, they're face to face, and the woman's or whoever's getting busted or whoever's getting duped is like. Okay, but take off the mask. It's really you, though, right?
Right.
Why did you do it, though? Why did you get a facelift? Because you're not handsome anymore. Like, just seriously, just maybe we can go from there.
It's sometimes like your brain tricks you, which is why you have to stay conscious, do exercise to stay conscious. That's why people meditate. That's why people do, moments of gratitude so that you stay conscious about reality. Because when you get to you just kind of go on automatic and forget to think about some things. I mean, some things you got to keep a habit. When you forget to think about some things, this kind of stuff happens. It leaks in.
I got somebody really mad at me the other day. I was talking about the Maui wildfires. So far, 111 people are missing. Let's see, death is 111. Over 1,000 are missing. About 38% of the burn zone in Maui has been searched. So not even the whole area are they able to search. And I said, maybe
you want to repeat this point? Oh my God!
Because I'm just curious. Murf, you tell me.
You have never been this curious in your life about anything. Go ahead.
Do you think you'd ever die in a fire or a flood?
Do I think I ever would?
Yeah.
When I was a smoker, I used to think, as a smoker and a heroin
swimming
user,
expert,
I used to think I would pass out with a butt in my mouth. And this is also when I smoked back in the day. This is before they put the little whatever fiberglass shit to like put a cigarette out. You know how now you smoke, if you don't puff after a minute or two, it goes out. When I used to smoke Marlboro Reds, that shit would burn down right to your lips if you let it. And so, I used to think I was going to die in a fire, but I quit smoke. I don't smoke anymore indoors. I
don't want to throw around my celebrity names, but I was in Steven Tyler's house in Maui. I slept on the bed he jerks off on. I got to wear his scarves. I was in his swimming pool. Kate, you want his house to burn down? That'd be so sad to me personally. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, don't you see fire coming? And unless the bridge breaks, don't you see the water coming? That doesn't mean I don't understand devastation. That
Yes,
doesn't
it
mean I
does.
don't
I'll tell
understand
you why.
I see
Can I
what you're
your
explain
fucking albums.
Yes, it does. I'll tell you why. It's very clear that you don't understand devastations because you are picturing someone like a movie going like,
Yeah.
it's coming. And then they just stand around going like, maybe my hands will block my face from it. You are picturing some weird, and it just speaks to what a nice life you've had in terms of
But why can't
natural
I
disaster.
ask that?
Good on you.
You
Why
think
can
we're
you
going to
ask-
figure out
sound like an
pronouns, but I
ignorant
can't ask, hey guys, do you
idiot.
ever wonder how a flood sits? Keith, that's so stupid to ask. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
it doesn't
you
happen
should
to
know.
me. It'll be
You should
funny if
know.
it does.
You should know that some of your questions are stupid.
This
You should
one,
know that.
Keith. This is just. I will say. I won't say stupid or dumb, but I will say
No, we don't say
ignorant
that.
only because if you haven't seen fire, like fire does hustle. Fire hustles in a way that isn't like the Hollywood. So I'm just saying I could see you going, oh, there is a fire, but you don't have the time to, like we were caught in the wildfires. Me and my wife, when we drove out to move to the West Coast, when we drove from New York, we got caught in, this was 2 summers ago when there were wildfires. We were caught on the side, like backed up on the side of the road. A bunch of cars were stopped. And there was a little like creek that ran alongside of us on the other side of the highway where this fire was. And we were on the other side and we were stopped, and they were like, we can't let people keep going because this fire could jump. If one ember flings over to the other side here, this whole side of the highway is going to be on fire. So we were like watching one side of the highway burn as we were there. So I'm just saying I think it is quick. I don't know if, I don't know what Steven Tyler's deal would be in that situation.
I don't know. That was just
His
a
house is
drop
made out of
name.
wood.
You know what I think you don't realize also, Keith, when people die of fires, they didn't wait and not leave the house enough fast enough all the time. It does sneak up on you.
I saw the documentary The Day After Tomorrow. I could have escaped that.
I know, you're very amazing.
That
number two is you don't always die of the fire. You die of the inhalation that you didn't, and it could be houses away. You now inhaled that, you're out, and now the fire is going to burn you because you can't smell that even.
I shouldn't make it sound like I'm making fun of death. When people die, well, this is what I'm learning. When people die in the hot summer heat, let's not go, what? Let's go, oh, I hope it doesn't happen to me.
Cool. Did you just learn something about fire, or are you going to ask that question again?
I learned that people are weird, sensitive fucking weirdos that think I'm talking about them and hating their city in Maui. And so I have to act accordingly, even though...
That's what you learned.
When somebody dies in the heat, let's not go, what? I think fair.
Let's go, definitely. It's 90 degrees. Who saw it coming? Heat sneaks up on you. It's a motherfucker. If you happen to be dehydrated as is,
you got catfished by heat. You got catfished by heat.
Right. Oh, they said it's summertime. You're dead. Who would have saw it coming?
Wow, Keith, it's an amazing skill that you have to see every single thing in life coming.
Sometimes I don't. And that's when the world gets nuts. All right. This person says, Through the Fire is the name of the episode. I posted this on Reddit, but I'm sending it to you your email as well. I had to turn off the podcast yesterday. This episode disgusted me. And
Hold on.
Yes.
I just like the start of these emails. I had to turn you off from talking. Here are my words.
Right,
I had to turn you off so I could turn my email on and start
Here's
typing
my show.
to
Fuck you.
Hey, just for the record, I didn't hear you at all.
I'm somehow worried you're going to make up for it later, and I'm mad now.
Yeah. Yep. Mid-sentence, I had to shut you off.
Hey, I hate what you're saying. Here are my thoughts on it.
This episode disgusted me, and as a listener for 15 plus years, this is the episode that has me unsubscribing.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm the one who said, when Japan saw Oppenheimer, it was in 3D for those guys. But somehow that was okay. It's just interesting. The Batman shooting, at least they didn't have to finish that piece of shit movie. That didn't bother you. It's just interesting. The other day I was talking about 2 dog fuckers that found each other and fell in love. Does that mean I want your fluffy boy raped? No, I get it. It's whatever bothers you. But how dramatic, 15 plus years. And I'm unsubscribing. Keith's lack of empathy towards the total destruction of the historic town of Lahaina. Do you think I even knew about the town of Lahaina?
Lahaina, you didn't.
See? There's my proof.
I hope this person
I don't even
did
know
who
if
wrote
I
this
was
email.
there. You think I'm shitting on history being burned down? That's what I'm doing. What were you saying?
I'm just saying. I hope the person who wrote this email has heard of it at least.
Right.
Before writing this email, they hopefully didn't have to Google the history of the town before talking shit here.
I assume they live in Maui. I assume Keith's lack of empathy towards the total destruction of the historic town of Lahaina, the death and Lahaina. What was that? Pee Wee Herman?
Mecca ho.
See, the death and devastation left in its wake, and his mocking of residents not leaving when the fire started was completely heartless and uncalled for. Not only did no sirens, warning alarms go off. Well, okay, that's good to know.
Can
to alert residents.
We establish? And I should have called the show this. What did he just say? It was something and uncalled for. What was it?
My attitude, my lack of empathy towards the total destruction of a town that nobody knows how to pronounce. I made fun of the death and devastation left in its wake. It's kind of the same thing. And his mocking of residents not leaving when the fire started was completely heartless and uncalled for.
Heartless. I'm writing this down. Heartless and uncalled for actually is the title of this show. Not just the episode. It is the title of Keith's life. It is never what he didn't display about his response to anything, including fires, best friends, whatever. Heartless and uncalled for. All right.
Not only did no sirens warnings go off to alert residents of incoming brush fires, but most residents were indoors due to the hurricane that was passing the islands. I also mocked water, leaving gale force winds in its path. And that's why the majority of the town didn't know there was a massive brush fire heading towards them. Well, leave during a hurricane, too. Everyone was hunkered down inside. There are more issues that contributed, but as of today, 93 people dead. The rescue crews on the ground are still finding bodies in houses that burnt down and in cars that tried to flee. Generations of family were destroyed in minutes because of how fast the fire ravaged the town.
Can I and this person has been a listener for 15 years, so he's also heard your thoughts on 9/11, where you were actually in the city, called ex-girlfriends who don't even live in the city anymore, asking if they were okay, just to reconnect and see if there's still a fire. Like,
I'm in Oklahoma now. Oh, honey, just checking.
I don't know.
Good. I mean, that could still fuck with your head. I met you in New York. Are you okay? I finally get a phone call in like 5-6 p.m. Because nobody could get phone calls out, and it's the chicks I knew. Yes.
I wonder who have you all been listening to over the last 19
Thank
years?
you. People go, I thought you're better than this. Well, then listen. I'm not better than this.
That's another title for a show. I don't know why we named it Keith and the Girl.
You do not get to mock and laugh about this tragedy. This isn't the Ocean Gate sub. Oh, is it? Okay.
We're allowed to mock that because I didn't think that was right either.
There was a kid in there. What did the kid have to do with anything?
I thought it was the same amount of not
Nepo
right.
baby for billionaires. Right. People were okay with that.
I thought we were heartless about that too, as a people. And you know what was extra heartless about it? That we were like, but they're rich, so we get to be heartless. But that was in you, all of you. That was in you. Right. Everybody who made fun of that, dismissing them because they're billionaires, you have been wanting to make fun of something disgusting for a while, and somebody gave you a pass on this one, but you get no pass. That was in you, and you said that, and we are all in that boat on submarines sometimes.
Hello.
we are
and
all
the pressure's coming.
Explosion.
You do not get to mock and laugh about this tragedy. This isn't the Ocean Gate sub where people knew they were taking risks and death was a possibility. This is our ohana, how deep. Now I'm going to get the fucking Hawaiian words for shit. Like, I don't know what friendship and family is. These are our makalakahainis, okay? Sorry, we care about each other here. Fuck off. This is our ohana, our friends, our keikis who are gone. Keikis? I don't want to say that word. Let's say keikis. Our historic
it's
city.
A trap,
Right. She's tricking me. Our N-words are, what are you trying to get me to say? Our historic city with priceless native Hawaiian artifacts and memorabilia are in the ashes. And the people of Hawaii are hurting while you crack jokes.
Hawaii.
Right.
if you're gonna go that mile, let's go.
I also hope there was at least a little bbit, and I don't know, maybe there was a lot of it with this person who wrote this email. It is shocking that they've listened for as long as they have, and this was the straw. I will say that sounds
right?
silly. as someone who's also listened to this
Tech
program
Andrew,
a
our
few
buddy
times.
Tech Andrew is going through major flooding right now. Do you think I want Tech Andrew dead?
Right. Also, the federal. How about the government response? How about the response? The lack of response, I should say, to this should be where let's reserve the outrage. We only have how much outrage in a day do we have?
Right.
Even for those of us who enjoy getting a little fired up, we still only have so much of it per day.
But the government talk to you in Maui. You guys don't know what's going on because the government isn't. Do I know more about this than you?
There were no emergency sirens set up for anything?
No sirens. They're not talking to you, telling you what happens. And by the way, instead of rating me, and I know why you do, because it's easy. How about Oprah Winfrey, who has 2,000 acres of Hawaiian land and doesn't allow you to set up a tent city immediately? But she did send you some toiletries. Why don't you rate her?
That's exactly what I was going to say is we are so on brand as a government for this island and for Hawaii in general. We took that and now the fires are taking it back and we're like, oh, we still don't care about you. We only cared about you long enough to add you as a star on our flag. And now we're staying on brand. This beautiful, and I don't know what this show is going to do for Maui because we do bring very heavy topics and just shit on them. But you want me to get serious? Holy shit. Hawaii, specifically Maui, is one of the destination spots of Americans in general.
That's the good island, if people don't know. That's the good one.
It's the thing you save up for. It's the thing you go on a honeymoon for. It's the thing that we pretend to be precious only long enough to throw thousands of dollars at them and tell us to get our drink faster.
Yeah.
We have not cared about these people ever.
Oprah Winfrey, instead of letting you use her 2,000 acres of land, 2,000 acres of land. You know what she decided to do? Go to one of these shelters with a CBS camera crew. They had to go, people are kind of devastated around that right now. So no, thank you. How about you rate her? Oh, I guess her email isn't on her website like mine is.
Well, I don't want to share Oprah. I've been in contact, just for the record, with Oprah via email.
Please.
I'm going to send her a check for $10,000 in 2 weeks. Oprah, it's on the way. I'm dating. But that's neither here nor there.
You went by the name Own, and then I said, "Hey, and she went, I am a famous talk show host. Angel blessings to you." And then I figured it out, and she came clean. Oh my God! You know what? I'll tell you. Here's where I'm wrong. I can't help it. I rate this person back. I think this email brought them all back. Good work. You're the fucking hero. How about Oprah? Well, thank you. She gave you 5 cots. That's more than I gave you, I suppose.
This is okay.
Maui crime on the rise, et cetera, et cetera.
Don't go to the hardware store for milk. Don't go to Keith for compassion about the stuff that he made fun of on the show. This is not a character that he's going to break. This is what you're going to get in an email back. This is the response you're going to get if you're further away or closer. This is it. He said very clearly, I got a hammer and I got a couple nails. You want milk? Right. You go down the line. Chemdas might be available. Her email is just as easy to find. That kind of shit.
And honestly, I am treating people how I want to be treated. And when I did make 9/11 jokes, let's not forget that, I lived in New York and could have been there. Could be dead now. But more seriously,
okay.
A plane was landing in Somerset, Pennsylvania in an open field, and my parents happened to live in an open field in Somerset, Pennsylvania, and we're getting no new news other than that. I can't help but wonder if a plane's hitting that house. You know what I needed to do? Hear a comedy show or two about it. Remember how it took so long for comedy to come back? What a blessing when it did. I thought, what are the point of making jokes again? And then I think I made a joke to the effect of, can we laugh anymore after this? I don't know. Does Israel laugh after lunch? And I was like, okay, why was I so stupid thinking we can't laugh at shit? And it actually, I don't want to be dramatic. It's healing for me. So that's what I'm doing. There is a little bit of a point to it than just laughing at people.
Also, I don't want, I think this person, again, I never want to shut on your listeners. God bless all your listeners. But this person who's listened for so long, made it through the 9/11 material, made it through it all.
I love him
more. You showed your whole ass by being like, this issue, because it's close home to me, has now become the problem. That's just selfish at that point. You just don't like this, I guess, if it's too close to you for whatever reason. And you're okay laughing at everything else.
which I can get, but don't start an email with, actually, because why do you think I'm going to listen? Okay, then you unsubscribe. Then you're not hearing my response. So who gives a fuck?
Oh shit, Ryan V is hilarious right now. I'm putting on my glasses. Here we go.
Okay.
How does someone not see a giant plane flying straight at your face? Get out of the way.
I moved. They didn't get me.
All right. And B. Jason is saying thank you for your service, Keith.
You're welcome.
And he'd
Join
like
the
2
military.
hammers
You
and-
care so much, listener. I did. Thank you. Just throwing that in there.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, by the way, when you write an email like this, be caught up on shows. Realize I got bigger fucking problems right now. Realize me and my friend of 20 years are having quite a time. I give a shit about your Maui point. Maybe. I don't think me and Craig are still having a time, and nothing's going to be sold soon. He thinks not ever. This is like part 2 to the show recently. You can see called Hot Soup. He said, I put this pre-show of a show we did into the main show. Called him and said, what do you think about this? And he's like, yeah, nothing weird was said. Sure. I put it in. Hours later, I get a phone call. Fuck you. I can't believe you fucking did this. I made some joke about my girlfriend and now I look like a piece of shit. You knew better. You tricked me. You did it deliberately to get content out of me. I wouldn't expect anything less than you. Phone call didn't last 2 literal minutes. I go, what the fuck? I gotta go. I gotta hang up because I'm gonna go somewhere bad. I'm gonna hang up. I hang up. I get all these texts about what a piece of shit I am. He should have been expecting this from me. Lose my number. I tried to hurt him. Then I'm like, what do you want? So you want something taken down? What do you want taken down? If you can't figure it out, I legit don't know. I didn't hear anything weird at all. You should fucking know. Next morning, he starts up again. So he had time to sleep on it. Still won't tell me. And I go, is it the pre-show? Is it what? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, what in the pre-show? Why not take that whole thing down? That wasn't the actual show. Then I'll take it down. What the fuck is happening? This is unforgivable now. The door is closed, he said, to any kind of friendship. I took it down. And I still don't know what I was taking down. So this is a total fucking betrayal. He goes, fuck you.
Hold on.
So sorry, 1 second. So now it's going to be, so you said those texts on the show? Well, I'm not, maybe I could be a better person, but I am about to do a show and you know that, and you sent this whole wall of bullshit again. It might be on my mind. I might not be Mahatma Gandhi and be able to just talk about Lizzo after you just did that. I might be a person and go, I'm going to treat me how I'd like to be treated. And I want you to hear my point of view. And you were a dumb fuck that day. Yes, Kanda.
Okay. You recounting this where...
And the texts were dead on. So I'm not adding tone.
Okay, but it is very, very, very difficult to only hear this one-sided thing. It is very,
I
very
gave you
difficult.
both sides. It's text I read.
No, first of all, the fact that you don't even know that you cannot at all.
I don't know
give us
that you
both
can.
sides.
I think you can
You
escape
can't.
water. I don't know
can't.
things.
One side can't give both sides. I mean, that's
But if it's a text, you can't you?
No.
You still no.
No.
This is where.
No, and it didn't start with
If
a
I
text.
say he says I literally hate you, Keith, we won't ever
Keith.
speak again. You have lost a friend. I can't say that.
We
That's
need
only one
subtext.
side of the story.
we get your subtext and your
First of all,
commentary.
It was
but we
all
don't get
text. I
his.
gave every text,
No,
Mark. Every text
no.
one after another. I left
Just
nothing
wait.
out.
Just unfair.
That's
a little
important.
bit. You can't see that a piece of this is fucking unfair when it's a one-sided conversation. A piece of that, just a piece of that. I understand that this is how you process.
It was a one-sided conversation. Him
understand.
going, fuck you.
Okay. This is not how Craig usually approaches things. This is not how you usually. This is how you usually deal with
I hope
things.
you lose
So
all your
maybe-
teeth and choke on them, and only your father comes to the funeral and gets the last word. I'm selling my Xbox.
Just so you know,
We
this
can't
is
play
how
Xbox
you
now.
just let's listen to past
Oh, I
episodes.
thought that was a bit
This-
of spam at the end there. I'm selling my Xbox, but that's relevant. You two play Xbox.
It's
All right,
relevant,
got it,
yes.
got it.
It's just
Sorry.
it's his signature at the end.
Got it. Sorry.
This is the way you two speak to each other. In fact, you are usually the aggressor in this language in particular. Die, go fuck yourself, dumb fuck. In fact, when I have a group text from you both and you're both going dumb fuck you, I never want to talk to you again, I have to recognize if you're being serious. We had 2 episodes before this one where you aired out your grievances, where some people would not be able to tell if you guys are friends after that, except that you laugh at the end. The fact that he came at you more aggressive that you're used to might have alerted you as a friend.
A little more, folks.
Oh,
a little
fine,
bit. A little
fine,
bit.
but
A
we
little
don't.
bit.
But that's fine. But the fact that he came at you in a different way than what we know this Craig to be might have, if another person, and we don't expect that from you because you are telling us exactly who you are, but another person would have been alerted to wait a second and to say, my friend is in trouble, let me not react. And I know that I'm going to get a lot of shit from this, and I know that you feel a way about me being on the side of what you are considering your aggressor and your abuser and whatever you want to call it. But what is happening is not 100% fair, and it's not 100% accurate. And if you ever trusted me before, you would wake up right now, or don't. But this is not exactly happening exactly how you think. It's just not.
That's not
You
true.
can-
That's not true.
Exactly. I'm not going to be able to convince you.
How do
of
you
that,
know
but
more than I
wanted
know?
To say that.
How do you know more than I know about this situation? And then you get to, some people writing in like, I think you guys should work it out. I'm like, oh, right. You're the
I'm
fucking
not saying you
savior.
should work
Yeah,
it out.
I do too.
I'm
Well,
not
I'm
saying
saying,
you should work
well,
it out.
I want to. I can't. Of course we should work it out. I knew him for 20 fucking years. I can't now, which is fine. It
That's
is what
fine.
it is, and I'll wait, and I'm waiting. But you keep writing shit, maybe I'll say shit. Again, I don't know. I'm not the most centered person in the universe, I guess.
Right. And he shouldn't expect that. That's his problem. That's his problem right now, is he expected Kevin and he got Keith. And that was my joke.
Don't go into
Well,
the
I
hardware
said-
store looking for milk.
Yes.
Once again.
That was my joke. I said Keith and Craig broke up, and unfortunately that means Craig can't hang out with Kevin anymore. Okay? And that's an issue. What you're not realizing is who you guys have been talking to for a long time, where if a real issue comes up, you have not had the practice of talking to each other like real human beings.
That's not true. That's not true. I can't get specific, but that is absolutely not true. Over 20 years, you don't think we probably had an argument or two and we were able to
That's all.
solve
And
it?
I don't want to defend this anymore because I think it becomes rude for me to defend it. I wanted to say that, and that's it. And I know that maybe that's rude against you because you have been my business partner for this long. And I don't know Craig like that, but I do know Craig like that a little bit. You have
I mean, I
invited
don't
him
think it
into
sounds
this
like I'm
world.
taking this frivolously.
No, of course
I'm not joking
saying
that I'm
I
waking
am
up
not
every
saying
2
that.
hours.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're not hurt. I'm not saying you're not
He
surprised.
tried
I'm
to
not
hurt.
saying
He
that
tried
you're
to
not
poke.
devastated.
And you know what? You won.
I am not
You
saying
got
that.
me.
He also apologized for the things that you. I know.
That's not fair. Murf, that
It's
is
only-
a lie.
It's only fair.
Hold on. No,
until-
let me explain that. Let me explain
I
that
have it
then.
in my texts. Okay.
Okay, then read them.
In the group text,
Then
he
read
said-
them. He says, you know what? I shouldn't have said what I said. I'm the one who fucked up, he says, but you should have known not to do it. And that's a betrayal. That's not an apology where I'm from.
He took
that's
full
a wish.
responsibility. He took full responsibility.
But it's a betrayal and you should have known better.
He-
Where I'm from, that's not the word fool.
I understand that.
Keep
he
your
shouldn't
ass
have
out of an
known better.
apology is what my nana used to say. Keep your ass, meaning butts. No butts in an apology.
Right.
She used to say, keep your ass out. If you're going to give an apology, give an apology. I will say that. But how quickly, so let me just say this really quick. How quickly did you take this down? Because as someone who's also hosted a podcast, I've had people come, and these aren't friends. These are, some of them are like, oh, we're friends in the business or whatever. But really,
If this wasn't,
actual
can
friends.
I say, if this wasn't a friend,
Right.
I would have probably responded and we wouldn't have even considered taking it down.
Right.
He would have
right.
like Keith would have allowed me to respond because they would have gotten in touch with both of us,
Right,
and
right.
me specifically knowing.
And I'm
that
sure
I
you've
would
had
be-
people do that. I'm sure you've had people sometimes
lots
say,
of people.
Sure.
I'm usually the one to respond.
We don't want to
go,
brag about our show, but plenty of people.
No,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
of course. I get you've been doing this. You've been doing this a while. I get that. I'm sure
think
people
Craig-
get a little loose-lipped.
Yeah.
Craig took into account that they are actually close friends. So he got in touch with Keith only. He has my phone number. He has my personal contact, all of it, and he can get in touch with me. So then it wasn't until the next morning that he put us in a group text where it's me and
Okay.
Keith. And at that
But he
point,
would not
he's
say what
flipping
the thing
out.
But he
Right,
wouldn't
right.
say what to take down.
Can
So
you
yeah,
admit
it
you're
was
not the
up
best
overnight.
listener?
He wouldn't say, I'm not the best listener. I said, what do I take down? I don't know. I'm not the best listener. I want to help you. Let's take this down. Because you're yelling at me. We'll do it. I won't do
I'm
it
not
for
taking
guests, but I'll do it
sides
for
either.
you. And he won't tell me what it is.
Yeah, see, that's interesting because I'm not
It's
going to take
of
sides,
notes.
but I would if it meant enough to me, I would timestamp to at least roughly to be like, I'm going to listen back to whatever it is I'm
Yes.
hearing on the public airways right now that I don't want. I would
Good for
be
you.
a little more
Good for you.
specific before I snap.
I wonder if
Good
he
for
doesn't
you.
I know,
even
good
know
for
and
me.
his
I get it.
girlfriend
I don't
got
expect
mad.
that.
I don't think he even knows. And he's like,
Doesn't matter.
Then the whole pre-show then. I don't even
Good
think
for
he knows.
you that you would have had the right brain because you have been on air, airing your shit, not being embarrassed by things that people are very embarrassed by.
Why
Good
are you
for you
acting
that
like I
You're
wouldn't
right.
take it down?
Good
He
No,
fucked
Hemda, you're
up.
right.
He
I
won't
under-
tell me what it is.
You're not even listening right now.
No, you're not listening. How about that?
I am listening, and that is a good point, Hemda. That's true about me. That is true. I'm coming from a far different place than
You've
than
edited
most.
before.
Right.
You've taken down what you need to take down before.
I hear that.
You
I
are
hear
not
that.
in a panic. You are
Yes.
not 20 years deep into speaking openly about what you want, what you have control over, and what you put up at the end of the day.
That's true.
This is an out of control situation for someone who's panicking and in love with you. In love with you. I have heard you speak to him like a piece of shit, and he's still in love with you.
Oh, stop
He
it.
knows, because he knows.
Now it's abusive. Now it's been an abusive
No.
relationship for 2 decades.
Relax.
I'll try.
Relax. We have recordings of this. That's how you guys talk to each other. More you than him, because that's more your personality than his.
Okay, but you're saying it like it's a negative. No, not at all. Not at all.
It creates a dynamic. It does create a dynamic. At
yes.
least.
Okay, so that's okay to say. You were rolling your eyes when I said it. Murph said the exact same fucking thing, and you're like, yeah, that's it. He said the same thing I just said.
Then I'm sorry I didn't hear it from you, but
Forgiven.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening for the words. I'm listening for the reaction to what I'm saying. I know that you're in a place also. This is devastating. I'm not
Yes.
minimizing that.
But what anything you ever get into some with Murph, because someone's like, you motherfucker, my dirty laundry's out there, something like this. That happened.
You know, a 2 decades thing. That this sounds a lot more complicated. Mine was a more simple when I first started storytelling. I did a live show, and someone, the old Creek in the Cave venue. I did a show that was that
New
I
York
didn't
one.
know even.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yes.
How come they didn't see it coming? If your bills aren't being made, run.
Yeah,
they
that fire.
did.
And they did. They went to Austin. Yeah.
This was a podcast that I was not aware. I did a storytelling show that I was not aware was being recorded. This is also very early on in my career, and also just long enough ago that podcasts weren't. I just wasn't aware that it was being recorded in audio and put out there onto the internet. And so I told a story that was kind of my friend was more, and this person who's not in the industry at all in any way, just used his name, which again was something I learned quickly. Let's change the names to protect the innocent other than my own thing. So that was a mistake that I owned up to.
Oh, this is my buddy Chris I'm talking about. But go
But
on.
this is a live. Oh yes, that's right. But this was a live show that I thought would have been a one and done to begin with, which still does not make the excuse. I wasn't doing the recording, so I didn't have immediate control over. Let's get this down. Let's pull this. Whatever. But there was a lot of conversation, and I thought it was actually helpful because in the way I kind of moving forward, telling my own stories, I've always now been very sensitive to that fact. But he was more pissed off, not even because of the legality of it, which may have very well been a felony that was involved. He was more because it was a dumb crime. It was the kind of thing. The joke, the whole punchline of this was that we were fucking morons in what we did. The long story short is we were stealing quads to sell. People in North Philly were riding when there was a lot of street racing with quads, but they want, banshees, like they want fast quads. We stole a bunch in Pennsylvania of like farm equipment, essentially these old like quads that would haul farming equipment, not be street racing. We filled up a U-Haul with them. We had like 8 of them. We were like stole them off a lot. We brought them into Philly. This guy's like, "Oh, you got these quads? I'm going to trade you a bunch of drugs for these quads." Was the thing. We get there.
You know what's amazing?
We don't want this shit. These are like whatever CC. Like this engine is,
right.
This maxes out at 30 miles an hour. But this is not the kind of quads we want. It was dumb of us, so we just left them in a parking lot in North Philly somewhere.
And that's a lot of detail for a felony. But I just love the hustle of druggies. We always see them as like.
Lazy, roustabouts. Yeah.
You're not thinking ahead. You're not thought out, which is, boy, you guys, and then we're going to go here and then we're going to go there. And that's how we put it together. And you're mechanically correct. Like this is stuff that I can't do on a regular day. You're like, what? I got to get some heroin. Let's do this.
Yeah. No, it's true. The mind never sleeps when you're fiending. That's for
why
damn
you need
sure.
the heroin.
That's right. But we were foolish enough to we got the wrong kind of quads, and I think maybe kind of knew it halfway through, but still tried to go through with it. Anyway, he was pissed that I painted the picture as being dummies. He's like, "Well, I sound like a fucking moron. Like I kind of knew what I said something about." So then he's rehashing now. This is now at the time even like a 10-year-old story, now a 30-year-old story, whatever. He was going through this thing, and he's like, "I just want you to go back on that show." Again, he's not in the industry. Get on that show. Get back on this podcast thing that was airing, and tell them that I knew. At that time, I said something halfway on the turnpike. Right. Not retract the story, not delete my name. Go back on the air and say that I fucking knew. So I had something
I read a statement? I used to wholeheartely believe my friend did know what he was doing.
My buddy Joe called us out on the quads halfway down the Pennsylvania Turnpike. He knew. Like, no, that was my...
I noticed this doing my podcast, and I don't know if you ever have this. If let's say I'll talk about somebody and then I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have told that story. Wonder if that's going to be a problem. And it never is. But then the person gets upset because flippantly I said they have a problem with being late. That became I'm like, I guess I just don't know where the fucking problem is, but what?
Yeah. I mean,
who cares about the quad story? It's over. We fucked up. We were kids. Then do it again. You're so smart.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. He's like, I want you back on board for this. I'm like, no, I've moved on. We can't redo this crime. No, but I do think that it's true that, and again, I don't know Craig. I don't know the situation. So it sounds
by the
more
way,
like,
sorry. We both love Craig. Craig was on the marathon.
Oh no, so I do know Craig.
That's Druggy Craig.
Oh,
yeah, you guys
when
know
you
each
said,
other.
oh my God, when you said. So wait, Keith, you need to make this right with Craig.
Yeah, me? How about that? I got to give it a couple days. That's all I'm saying.
And that's fair enough. And I only say that honestly. I'm not taking a side. I'm just saying it feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like that might be the only way that this is. You're in the power seat here as the host of this show. Let's just say that. The power dynamic it is on you.
But for me to fake apologize, because it will be fake. It will be. You're shaking your head, but it will be right now.
No, I'm not shaking my head.
There's no real apology that I have in me right now. So here's my point. All right, forget it if I'm putting words in your mouth.
I love Craig. Now I feel more attached to the story in a sad way.
Right.
Sorry.
But then we make up. But in his head, he always knows that I agree I was out of line by putting up something behind his back to fuck him for content. There's no way that relationship could be normal after that. He's just sucking that down while we go day by day. No, right? I'm just saying right now. I'm the one saying it can still work out. He's saying it can. I'm saying it can, just not right now because I'm this fucking angry and he's not able to meet anywhere, to be clear. Right. So that's all I said. Yes, I still want it to work. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. He might be hearing this and going, well, you're wrong, Keith. But I wouldn't be surprised. But not right the fuck now. People going, hey, how you doing, Keith? Hugs. And it's like, oh, same shit. I can't sleep. But it's what it is. But it's not on me to make a phone call today. It's not. And by the way, let me tell you this.
For the record, I wasn't even asking you to make the phone call. Not today, not tomorrow.
I'm not saying ever. I just want to be clear.
I was suggesting just because my knee-jerk reaction was that might be the only way forward here.
No. And in fact, I think everyone should stop giving both of you advice. There's no advice here. There's no advice ever. There's just our reaction to it and what we see. That's it. But anytime someone's going to give you guys advice, it's going to be wrong.
Yeah, well, you're
It's
right
like
now,
what-
right? It's
what
just
you
going to
said,
upset
Murf.
us
Yeah.
right now. Yeah,
Exactly. You should call him. No,
You two know your relationship better than anyone. You're
you
right.
cannot start a sentence with "you should." That is not appropriate here. That's it.
here's always been my rule. I think since I was like, I don't know, 6-7 years old, to tell you the truth. If I ever sent you a wall of text that says "fuck you, die," you did this behind my back, you tried to fuck me, you can read my text on a podcast. Always been my
But
rule
that's
since I was a
you.
kid.
That's you. And since you were a kid, you would have been on air as soon as you had the first word.
This sounds
That
like
is
advice,
you.
doesn't it?
No,
Doesn't
this is what I see. That's you. I'm not saying you need to change. That needs to not be you. I'm not saying you
it's
need
fun
to,
for me to.
I am-
But I wonder if you are making it worse a little bit. I like to think that Craig is hearing this and hearing why I thought it was okay to get a little fucking nuts. That's what I'm doing. Now, if it's wrong, it's wrong. But this is it. I'm treating you how I think I would be fine if you read those texts on your podcast. That's the
Right.
fucking truth.
You
That's
would,
it. So,
yes.
but don't say it like you're teaching me a lesson. That's what happened. Okay, and here we are. I got Sadia writing me. Those in the know about this crazy bitch. And then she's being serious that, hey, I can do a session with you, a therapy session with you, and get you guys back together. What the fuck is happening?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what Saudi is.
What's just
writing you.
funny?
It
Well,
has-
no
I-
shit,
that
it
is
doesn't
funny.
matter.
Yes, it's funny, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't add to anybody's side. It
Of
just
course it
adds to
doesn't.
that
I know
crazy
that.
story.
No, I'm just picking on her now. May I? Can I pick on somebody?
Don't be acting like I stop you from picking on anybody in the last. I don't even not me. Fuck out of here.
You let Oprah have it today.
I let Oprah have the queen. All she wants to do is make your life better. I didn't give anybody toiletries in Maui. She did. Well, she goes, so we probably aren't doing, Diamond Dogs anymore. Definitely not anytime soon. And then she goes, and I will not be the replacement show host. And she's being serious. I'm like, you psychopath.
I wouldn't even
No.
read anything. She just fucking
She
put it
goes,
in the
haha,
trash.
fuck off, then don't be friends. And I wrote, well, we agreed not to be friends so that you don't get your way. I wondered if the audience heard the last show that we did about this. Well, Craig and Keith, we were going to go to the Joshua Tree
That's
in October. And of course we aren't now. Well, Craig and Keith go to the Joshua Tree this year. 68% of the audience thinks yes. Like, I
Because
wish I was clearer. This is why this show is good, because now it's clearer.
Let me
That it's
clarify.
not-
This is not advice. This is not advice, but I will say that was why I was initially sad when I realized who the Craig was we were talking about. Because
Yes.
what I recall from the marathon was you were about to be led on a psychedelic journey. There was an excitement in the air of you using psychedelics with Craig. Am I right about that? Wasn't that part of the?
Yes.
So
Yes.
Joshua, I mean, this all now comes together. So this is splintered now. But I will say again, not advice, but
Just words.
these are just words. Oh, let's just put it this way. This is what I would do.
It's up
don't
to
do
you
don't
if
do
you
most
take
of
it
what
as
I
a-
would do.
I
But what
want to
I
treat
like,
myself bad, but what I would do.
what I would do is this idea of going to Joshua Tree. This idea of taking psychedelics and pushing. I'm talking enough psychedelics so the ego dies. I don't mean just a little light. Oh, we got a little, maybe some fractals. We're giggling a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, both of you take enough psychedelics so your egos are dead at the door, and then you take a long walk together and talk it through. And I guarantee you, I would bet that either ends with one of you dead, which then you have to move on. The other one has to move on, and that is what it is. Or you both
Worth
come
it.
back and go, "How silly were we?"
And see, I think that would normally be Craig's way of doing things, but I don't think that is how Keith likes to take drugs. And
If
that's
I was
part
on
of-
the airplane, that means we already worked it out.
Okay, I hear you. Okay, okay.
But also like it's so interesting that you say that because Keith recently did acid for the first time, and Craig was a part of maybe like trying to be like, hey, how about this? Even from far away, and they clashed in that. They clashed
Interesting.
because Keith wants
But not
to
hate, but not hate.
not hate, but they clashed, and this is part of why they clashed, though.
He
And
thinks I should have watched a YouTube video of aliens for 8 fucking hours long that's made by AI generated bullshit, and that I shouldn't have laughed my balls off letting Bon Jovi be my guide. Okay.
so that's
what I did.
that's basically what it sounds like in Keith's words, right? Which is exactly how he likes his high. He
Yes.
wants to be giggly, not learning anything other
No,
than
he
like,
wants to
I
be
had
living on
fun
a prayer.
time.
Yes.
Right. And then what Craig wants to do is break his brain hard enough,
Yeah.
you know, to like have a new fucking version of life. And when he offers that to Keith in his own way, Keith is like, I'm already having a good time. Stop trying to get deeper. And I think that's part of the clash is I don't have this in me. And it's like, yes, you do. At some point, I'm gonna help you get, and it's just not. It's not there. And that's
by the way, when
like,
there's
Craig, you're hanging out with Kevin right now. Like, wake up, you know.
when there's
Right,
good trips and bad trips, I think any warning I see is like be in the right headspace. So it's like, hey, don't we hate each other?
It was a listen, it's somewhat of a Hail Mary because set and setting is huge. But I would say when the two people involved, it's sometimes when it's external factors, or it's like I'm not feeling in a great headspace because of a relationship or a work relationship, personal relationship, whatever it is, but the person's not there. I think the two of you may be going, but it sounds like that's also just, again, not advice, and it sounds like it's a terrible idea in this it's just something I would say. After 20 years, you're not going to just not be friends. So if you ever get to a point where like, I haven't spoken to this dude in a year, maybe throw the Hail Mary of psychedelics. I don't know.
I don't know. A lot of people get divorced after 20
Well,
years.
I'm not getting a tattoo on it. Yeah, it can go either way. Sure.
Yeah, maybe it's time for the relationship. Also, yeah, maybe it's time for this relationship to move on. You may also be right too. That could be right for both of you. I'm not saying it needs to be salvaged. It doesn't need to be. It will be what it will be.
I think if people come from it needs to or doesn't need to be salvaged, you're coming from a wrong place and already giving advice and already hoping for something. And this is not a result-oriented conversation. This is just what's happening.
That's wise as fuck. That is a wise thing. And I'm coming from someone who literally just did that. And I'm also, I'm doing a 180 and saying that you're right. It's wise. It's wise. That's
very
just did
hard.
What? Sorry. Who just did what?
Who just did try to say, here's a thing and do a thing. But I agree with Hemda that is, this is one of those, which as most situations are. Everyone wants advice.
You don't want to watch.
Really...
you don't want to watch that happen. You did like it's always armchair bullshit when you're watching it. But like the same shit is trust. The same thing is happening in all of our lives, and we are navigating that. Navigate your own shit, see what happens, and look at other people's results. How did somebody else navigate this? I'm going to take a little information from them, but we're not putting this on anybody. It's just take what you like and leave the rest.
One-sided story. Like there's not 17 ways Craig can say his sides.
No, there's not. No, there's not. Stop that. Stop
I have
that.
a link. He can add
No,
it.
there's not. He cannot start a podcast and be popular and have people listen and have this history and people know you and they know how you're joking and they know when you're being aggressive and you have the airwaves where I have to read a response if there is.
He can be on right now, I'm saying.
Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Your way still. It's your way still.
Well, I don't see how, but okay. Most ridiculous moment, says Joseph Franks. Keith's reaction to the advice on setting and mindset before his LSD trip, especially great around 22 minutes and 42 seconds, where Keith says it was I had a terrible hangover. The acid, like 12 hours. That was fucking hilarious. About a day and a half after, though, was just, it didn't feel like my skin. It wasn't like my head was being like, I'm thinking evil thoughts, but I'm just like, like my nerves aren't reaching my skin and it's like,
yeah, you're like, when will this be over? Yeah.
Yes. All that stuff I'm realizing does that to me. Molly, mushrooms. It's not for me. Keith says it was the hangover after. And I got to tell you, I don't believe it's because I didn't eat a carrot. Ha ha, fucking priceless. Great episode. Super fun and funny. Joseph. Do you still do acid, right?
I do. Yes. I'm still into psychedelics. I'm more mushrooms these days than acid.
I'm more heroin now. Fuck this.
I'm more a little bit acid and a little bit rock and roll. Yeah, no, I'm more on the mushroom train. We have a great a hookup. Psychedelic mushrooms have come a long way where I know exactly what it is I'm getting. So woman we get them from has them ground into capsules. So there's a consistency there. There's like a dosage there that it's just. Because like I'm a little too old, I think, for the wild
let's
card.
See what
just
happens.
The spin of the wheel. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have a fucking child. Like there's no. Let's see what happens. Maybe I'll end up, in a different state in 3 days and be like, yeah, I can need my skin reattached.
No, now drugs are on the schedule. They are scheduled in. Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I like that
fun.
Mushrooms are look. I mean, once you're there, you can let yourself go. It's not. I'm not a schedule guy. I don't love it, but I got to do it.
Sure.
I either don't do
me
them.
Too.
Yeah. And I like about mushrooms is they're not as long. It doesn't last generally, especially with the dosage. It's not usually a 12-hour situation with as intense as acid is. But,
what kind of dose do you take?
I usually take about a half. I would say like 2.5 grams is like my. So like not a full eighth of what it used to be. Now when she does them in the capsules, I think it's a little different for weight wise. And I think it depends on like if there's more stems or caps in the capsules. Like she tries to say, here are my capsules that are ground up this way. Here, but
well, am I getting this right? That 3.5 is the usual we're getting.
Is like an eighth, yes. So I'm like a half an eighth or 2/3 of an eighth.
And how long does that last?
That's usually only a few hours, 4 or 5 hours of like a peak, maybe
That's
a 6-hour
long.
total thing. Yeah.
I just weighed. I remember this now. I weighed the little piece of cardboard, 2 pounds. That's crazy.
2 pounds.
2 pounds. So that was a lot of shit on there. So,
I mean, yeah,
that's crazy.
The cardboard, the board itself. Yeah, when you do those sugar cubes, man, look out. Whatever your mode of delivery is there. I had a Buick just pull into my mouth with a drop of acid on the hood.
Here's a fun story. We'll leave on a fun story. Well, this part isn't fun. A man beats up his 16-year-old son after seeing X named application on his phone. He didn't know it was the new Twitter logo. So he's very religious and he's like, why do you have porn and beat him? All right, well, good job, Elon Musk. But I thought this part was funny.
I didn't consider
He thought it was
that.
porn. He's like, what's this black X? No, it's Twitter. Well, I think Twitter's a cute blue bird.
Right.
Got to be sex.
But also,
we're blaming Elon, not this idiot father. Okay,
Sure, but
let's blame Jesus before we do that for fucking saying X is something you should beat your kid up over. Let's just do that.
Elon is on one of the crosses next to Jesus. He's not. Jesus is on the top cross. He still gets top billing. No. But what is? Wait a minute. But also single X porn. I'm like, is that like Skinamax? That's not even hardcore porn. Like only one X. Usually you get triple X. Give me triple X if I'm trying to jazz off. I can't even get off. To
X is just a couple. There's no dogs. There's no stepkids.
Okay, old fashioned porn.
There's
Sure.
no neighbors. Just something nice,
Just
but
something
still
nice.
offensive to the family.
Yeah. Also, how much does it take to go to hell? Sometimes it just takes laughing at a sick joke, and you're in hell.
Right.
So might as well X, 2X. What's the difference?
That reminds me, Keith and the Girl TV. I love this app very much. Take a look around it. KeithAndTheGirl.com/app. It has Keith and the Girl TV on this, videos that we used to make. What's my point? Oh, when we laughed at, I said Michael J. Fox. What was it? He
His
doesn't
MS.
shake hands, but his hands shake. Something like this. And somebody wrote in all upset about that I'm going to hell for making an MS joke. Me, Hitler, Mussolini, Kanda for laughing. Check that out. That's funny. But anyway, yes, we were always assholes.
What
Thank you.
he's saying is that those words got turned into an animation, and that animation is available on Keith and the Girl TV. And Keith and the Girl TV is available on the Keith and the Girl app, like all of our episodes of every single show, Diamond Dogs, last week on Keith and the Girl, Q&A. All of the history of Keith and the Girl is in
Me
there.
doing salvia, that's my speed. You ever
Ooh,
do
boy.
salvia? Get in, get the fuck out. That's great.
No, it's too much. It was too much for me. I got sucked into a vortex, man. I never want to go back there. I
feel
not
like I'm stupid because everybody I know is coming up with epiphanies and black holes. Every drug we're talking about, I just laugh. With salvia, I couldn't move my head to the left for some reason. That's hilarious. The end.
facial paralysis.
Yeah,
That's a side
hilarious.
effect of salvia.
Yeah. I really couldn't turn my head a certain direction. It was nuts, but yeah, it was just funny. I didn't start going down some hole of some kind.
This
I
is
was in
very
that
fun
way.
because I think I get shit like when we talk about acid and the stuff that the drugs that I have had good experiences on that I like, and people are like, stop pushing people to do drugs. Please, can we not associate my good time on certain drugs? And you don't see me doing them every week. And I did acid twice. I'm just happy about it. That's
Yes.
all. I'm not trying to push drugs. But look what we just learned. Somebody who's been a heroin addict who like used to steal from his parents is like, salvia is too much for me. And Keith is like, that's my speed. So can we just know whatever drug works for you, that's the one. And if that's Tylenol, then you're still doing drugs and it's working for
Thank you.
Don't
Thank
tell
you.
me I'm pushing it on you. I'm letting you know that I think it should be legal so that just like Tylenol. It says take with food, this doesn't matter with food or not. This is what it's going to do for you. This is how long it's going to last. Don't take it more than, 5 times a day or whatever the fuck.
Yep. Maybe put a little childproof cap on it so the kiddies don't get into it. Yeah.
That's every single drug. I treat all the drugs the same. I'm not pushing Tylenol on you. I'm not pushing Salvia on you. And neither is Keith, I think. Just please stop telling me how much I'm encouraging people.
I don't really follow
drugs.
the Advil rules. I'm not going to lie to you. Now,
Yes.
look at me. I'm constipated. So
See, but he doesn't follow the acid rules and he doesn't follow. So you see, I had a nice trip on acid.
Yes.
What did Keith have?
Yep.
I followed the rules. I literally put it on my schedule, drug time here because I have the day off here. And then just in case it goes, that's how heavy some of these drugs are. And that's how serious I take drugs.
now Kemda will explain how
them.
Yes.
Kemda, explain all the things you didn't defend today. Go ahead. I was just saying. Another title that isn't going to work out for today that I wrote down. I want a new drug.
I want a new drug.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, here's the things that I do think is funny. Special counsel obtained search warrant for Donald Trump's Twitter account. What did he say on there that can go with January 6th? Can go with saying the election was stolen? First of all, can't you just go to /Donald Trump? But anyway, they want to make it a point. No, I want a fucking warrant. And I think it's funny because Elon Musk tweeted out, if you were unfairly treated by your employer due to posting or liking something on this platform, we will fund your legal bill. No limit. Please let us know. No limit.
Is that binding?
And people I don't know. People started pouring in, and now we can only guess there's a private DMs going on. Can Trump sue if he gets? You pay Trump's
He
fees?
will. He will.
Yeah.
Holy
Also, is that
shit.
binding? The funny thing about that is, I'm like, nothing that Elon has tweeted out has been binding so far.
Right.
I mean, he was the man of he was the absolute free speech absolutist coming in, and now all of a sudden we've seen that fall apart real quickly, depending on what the speech is he likes or doesn't like. But yeah, that would be wild if he now has to pay those legal fees.
Yeah, that's insane. I don't
Also, just to get I think you're right. It's funny that can't you just go because once he reinstated the account, it's all there. All the tweets are just there.
I guess so. In case he deletes it,
are they asking for a table reading of the tweets?
Right.
Are they asking for let's get these tweets printed out and let's get them on a big board and let's get people, a celebrity cast together around a table to read them out.
Speed. He loves.
Now we're talking.
Shit. Yeah.
I'll print them out on my dime.
Keith has the last printer. Go ahead, Keith.
Dude, I've seen your printouts. It's disturbing. I'm not gonna lie. I love it.
That's why I say I have receipts. This didn't print itself. Let's have to give the girl budget this fucking ink.
I think when you die, I'd like to put a bunch of paper in your coffin, filling it up.
Oh, that's sweet. And
everyone walks up and instead of a flower or something, they just drop printed paper sheets out on your casket.
Latest news. And maybe bouquets of news stories with highlighted stuff. And people can take one and read it to each other.
Oh my God. And they always have to start, this is fun. And then it's 5 people got raped while on fire. How did they get on fire and get raped? These maroons and the throat.
Keith wouldn't have believed in this person.
We all have to rip it and then throw it in. Yeah. And we have to record it because it doesn't count unless it's recording even after he's dead.
All right. So 2 things. KeithAndTheGirl.com/app. It's a free app. If you have the VIP program, KeithAndTheGirl.com/VIP, you get all the bonus shows. That includes Keith and the Girl TV. That if you haven't seen that, it is quite frankly fantastic. Also in there
I'm sorry, but it's also us in our 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah. God,
it's
babies.
20 years ago, some of this.
That's before I can even pretend I don't know better. I didn't. That's the good shit, Also, if you have VIP, we have a wrap-up show coming up hosted by Rod and Karen Morrow. If you want to hear the behind the scenes of this show, this week's episodes, Keith and the Girl Universe, become a Keith and the Girl VIP member. Try it for free. I want you to try it. We're very proud of it. KeithandTheGirl.com/VIP. Use the code free trial. One word, FREETRIAL. And this is your final warning, by the way. Don't miss this Monday's battle. I'm going to go up against Murf Meyer. Silent trailers. You fell in love with him this episode, and now you have to watch me destroy him on Monday. I don't need friends. Fuck you, Murph. Suck my dick. Eat my ass.
Burning all the bridges.
I just need this podcast. And that's all I need. And this keyboard. That's all I need too. And this mouse. And this bell. And that's all I need. And this pen and paper. And this lotion. And that's all I need too. That's it. Thank you, Murf.
Thank you so much for having me. As always, love you guys.
Bless you. Stick around for a minute. I'm just gonna turn off the thing. Just so
yes.
we say goodbye like proper people.
Yes, and we'll leak that audio later.
Dev, I can't promise none.
They're just. I mean, I think everything that I'll read is going back to what we're talking about. Hemdesplaining is my new favorite term. Hemsplaining, and that comes from pizza. And I never argue with pizza. Pizza sometimes argues with me and my stomach, but for the most part, we get along.
Well, you got to follow pizza instructions. Make sure you had water, eat it at the right time, not too late. You know, everything comes with rules, people, and life is boring and a piece of shit.
And Europe, but I think it's supposed to be Europe, but the way you say it. Keith hates bridges more than he hates sleeves. All right, let's burn it.